Hello, I'm James Wilson.
And I'm Matthew Rowney.
And on another jam-packed review of Who Addicts Reviews, today we are going to be reviewing the episode that has probably haunted a majority of my nightmares.
Yes, it is a two-parter that was recommended to us by Steve Espinoza. It is The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances from Series 1.
Let's do this. Now, let's begin this review that I have been frightened to do. While watching the episode, I was completely fine. Traumatised, but fine. No, I'm only joking. But yes, when I was younger, I'm probably not the only one here, but this was one of the Stephen Moffat classics, and it's very rare that we get a Stephen Moffat classic in recent years since he took over, but yes, we are going to be reviewing The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances.
Yes, with it being a two-parter, and then once again, a thank you to Steve Espinoza for recommending this to us. We're going to have to try and get through it a bit quicker with it being a two-parter, but we did a three-parter in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so we can do a two-parter. But yeah, it began with a nice intro, which led into the episode well, and then obviously the beginning was the child on the roof, which instantly scared me.
Oh,
just seeing the child on the roof saying, "Mummy, are you my mummy?"
That's just the... I can't believe I'm saying this, but that is actually what was the brilliance of Stephen Moffat's writing.
Was.
I miss those episodes that he'd write where he turned the normal and mundane into the scariest things imaginable.
Yeah.
He was the guy that turned a child in a gas mask, and we'd usually go, "Oh," before that episode. Especially now I'd be like, "Get the fuck away from me."
All it's doing is asking for its mother. That's probably the most sympathetic thing a child can say, and yet it was scary.
I know, honestly. It's one of those things that Stephen Moffat hasn't done in quite a while. That and The Weeping Angels as well, which is your favourite monster.
Yeah, the one thing that did make this enemy monster, I don't know what you want to call it, you said obstacle.
Yeah.
The one thing that made this child scary is the music and the environment. On a nighttime, 1940s London, the Blitz, and the music as well. It was the perfect setting.
Yeah, it honestly was. Murray Gold was definitely, I think, aware that obviously the setting was in World War II. It was during the London Blitz, probably the scariest moment in history for British people. I mean, we never knew when there was going to get a fucking bomb dropped on our heads. It was scary constantly. And when there's a child around there turning people into gas mask zombies, it just makes things 10 times as scary. And honestly, I think Murray Gold was definitely aware of that. The setting of World War II, it's manky, it's dirty, and it's muddy and stuff like that. It's definitely povertised sort of thing. And I think he was aware of that while writing the music, and he did that brilliantly. And that's just the genius of Murray Gold that shines through even now.
The music really related to the environment, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
We had it obviously began with a phone call of the TARDIS. When the TARDIS was phoned by the kid, that was spooky.
Oh yeah, that was.
It just hit you with spookiness straight off, didn't it?
It did. It was just full of spooky happenings throughout the episode, and I loved that. And I still remember to this day my reaction to this episode, hiding under the covers. And I daren't look away. I wanted to look away. It was like a horror film. Yeah. You wanted to look away, but you just couldn't. Yeah. It was like that, really.
Yeah, we got to see Nancy briefly. She was very mysterious, and her mystery was very good, which carried The Empty Child, I think. And then Jack's introduction was funny and intriguing. I think he was just instantly likeable.
He was the first introduction of Captain Jack Harkness, and who was to know at the time that he was basically going to be a spin-off in the making. Possibly he was going to be part of something that was to be not as big as Doctor Who. Nothing can be, but
you wouldn't have thought back then. Would you?
You wouldn't have thought back then that he would have been on the slightly the same level as Doctor Who, which I think was really good. And but that's the thing. His charm was kind of borderlining on cheesy.
It was. I did find
I suppose Stephen Moffat was doing that on purpose, do you think? Like,
maybe.
Was he trying to make Captain Jack Harkness's charm a bit cheesy on purpose? But I think his charm kind of balanced the scary storyline as well. Without Captain Jack, I think I would have been under the covers for that entire time. I think Captain Jack balanced that the empty child thing, I think that was basically Moffat's way of saying, right, Captain Jack is there to soften the blow and, make it a bit less scary.
Yeah, there's a fine line between having a cringy character and you losing interest. It was borderline on just thinking, oh, just stop being charming and cringy. But luckily it didn't cross that line.
And it didn't stop us from loving him either.
No,
I still loved him as a character.
I remember the scene in the house when all the kids were having the dinner, and you've seen the empty child knocking on the window and putting his hand to the letterbox.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, once again, that scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah, it just goes to show again, the cutest thing can still just scare the living daylights out of you.
The music was jumpy, wasn't it?
It really was. Again, praising Murray Gold completely.
Then there was about 10 minutes where Jack and Rose were flirting on a ship, which I didn't lose interest, but I think it got to a point where you were just like, okay, just go on to another scene now. Once again, it was on the borderline of cringy to losing interest.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't cross that line once again. And then it was, I think, seeing when you got to see, like, I think it was around where the bomb site was. We got to see like Nancy and the Doctor from the empty child's eyesight.
Yeah, the blurry sort of eyesight.
That's always a great effect.
Yeah, the blurry eyesight thing. Yeah. I think that really was good. It added some effect. It added some really spooky and really creepy effect that I think only Doctor Who can do, really.
Yeah, and then it went on to
the hospital.
Now, my God.
Oh yeah, what was that? Albion Hospital.
Yeah, you pointed out quite. I think it's worth mentioning.
Yeah. Previous in the series, with the previous two-parter, the World War III and the Aliens in London two-parter, the Albion Hospital had actually featured in that two-parter as well. So that's also a pretty good fact. But yes,
little Easter egg to point out.
Yes, but the hospital scene was the scariest I think I've seen in Doctor Who in quite a while. And I think it was kind of the only thing that I think scared me in a Moffat story. After that was the Weeping Angels in the thing, but I don't know. We might review that one day. I
think it's on the list.
But yes, the hospital scene with you will probably point out the Dr. Constantine.
He was great,
played by Richard Wilson.
That's the one, yeah.
Who I just love as an actor.
He came across as kind of like a decrepit old man that you felt sorry for.
Yeah,
but he had such a creepy voice, and
he really did.
You knew like he was hiding something behind that voice, and when we seen he had that scar on the back of his hand,
you were like,
which every gas mask person had if you didn't know. And then the Doctor was talking to him, and he started saying, "You are mum," and the transformation. It made me want to look away even now. Watching that as a 9-year-old, God knows what I was like back then. But even when we were sat watching this about an hour ago or what, when he had that transformation, you were trying to look away, like you said, but you couldn't.
It was great how Richard Wilson could just make you love his character, even though he only had a cameo of 10 minutes,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that, less I think, and I just love Richard Wilson, and he's just great as an actor, borderlining on the creepy, which was brilliant.
Jack came out as a con man.
Yes, he came out as a con man, which also sort of, you can really see how he's evolved down the years as well. But yeah, the cliffhanger was also very suspenseful, and it left you wanting more. And that's what almost every two-parter with Doctor Who does. It makes you want more and more and more.
For the next week.
Exactly, and just the way the gas mask zombies had just
when they sat up.
When they sat up and again praising Murray Gold for the third time, the music just went dun and then dun, and then honestly it added to the suspense.
It's like if you weren't paying attention to this episode, the music had grabbed your attention, and you were like, "Oh crap, God!" If you weren't paying attention, you'd jump out your skin. So it's like the music. Yeah. It's like the music was sort of tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Pay attention."
Yeah.
And that led into a great cliffhanger. Then we got the Doctor dances. It was a clever, humorous way he resolved it, saying, "Go to your room."
Yeah, because the gas mask the gas mask child was obviously a child.
Yeah.
So he
was like the template to all the people, wasn't he?
Yeah. So the Doctor sent him to his room, which tended to be a mistake later on, which we'll get onto.
Yeah, and it kind of started to repeat a lot. There was a lot of time on the gas mask people chasing them, which, don't get me wrong, was very intense.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in the conclusion about the Doctor dances. It was a bit kind of, I don't know, repeated. And then the episode name, it was irrelevant because there was the scene where Rose was trying to make the Doctor dance, and I was just like, and she was like, "Oh, the world doesn't end when the Doctor dances," and it was just like, is that what the title was for?
Yeah.
The title could have been called so many other intriguing things. It just seemed like the title was a bit misleading and a bit irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be called The Bomb on London or something like that.
Even that would
I don't
probably
know.
be more intriguing.
Yeah, I really don't know. It could have been an interesting name, but it's just that just really had absolutely nothing to do. It wasn't relevant to the story or the plot, and it was really just irrelevant. And plus, Captain Jack's charm, as much as, like I said, I do love Captain Jack Harkness, it's just that his charm sort of got in the way of the main plot, and it kind of stopped me from being scared again. You know, like the
distracted you.
Yeah, like the Doctor was constantly trying to one-up Captain Jack. Like, you know, the Doctor was sort of jealous that Captain Jack was like this suave, charming man, and the Doctor was kind of trying to one-up him. You know, he was embarrassed of the sonic screwdriver, which yes was funny, swapping the square gun for, you know, the banana, which was funny, but it kind of got me out of the mood for being scared.
Yeah, then there was quite a while of stuff that we didn't really put notes down because it wasn't really worth mentioning. We kind of mentioned it before. The next thing that I can really remember was the ending where, you know, it was revealed that Nancy was the child's mother, which was shocking.
Yeah, she led the Doctor and everyone to believe that Jamie, who is the empty child, shares my name, hooray! But I'm just as equally scary, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was revealed that Nancy was his mother, which was, I think, a great twist.
It made perfect sense.
It made perfect sense, and I think it was great the way Stephen Moffat had made such a lovely twist, and it was such a lovely, heartwarming twist. And it's very rare in Doctor Who episodes where nobody dies and everybody lives. But now, seems though Stephen Moffat's head writer, everybody lives and nobody fucking dies. But yeah, it was just great, that lovely twist, and I loved it. It was so heartwarming, and it was a strange transition from it was a strange transition from being scared as hell from the gas mask child
to be feeling really sorry and happy for it.
I know it was.
I praise Moffat for that because he had us from being scared to kind of on the edge of our seats going, oh, you know, I mean that. Their juxtaposition from each other, and to go from one from the other was brilliant from Moffat.
Yeah.
And why he can't do that these days, I don't know. But it was vintage Moffat. Like it was all over the place, but it all made perfect sense, which is vintage Moffat. And then there was the happy, upbeat ending with Jamie obviously being able to take the gas mask off. Everyone survived, and then Jack's survival at the end. You said I mean, I didn't feel any emotion from it.
I really didn't, because I kind of got the gist. In fact, as soon as I got the gist that, you know, Jack's computer was kind of telling him that he was certainly going to die, I wasn't
feeling sorry for him.
I know. Even then, at my child mind of 9,
which you've still got.
Yeah, which I've still got. Yeah, but I was still thinking. I think even then and now, I was just thinking, wow, this is like, I'm really not feeling the emotion. I know that the Doctor, I could tell that the Doctor and Rose was going to come and rescue him.
When the Doctor says, everybody lives, Captain Jack's not just going to die.
I know.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you want to conclude this now?
Yes, Matthew, you may go first with your conclusion.
Ladies first, cheers. The Empty Child was an amazing build-up to a great two-parter, introducing an intriguing setting with 1940s London, and all the characters such as the scary but innocent child, a mysterious young girl who had all the answers, and a charming yet forceful conman Jack Harkness. The environment alongside the child, alongside the extremely intense music, made this episode very spooky, keeping me on the edge of my seat. The cliffhanger in the scary hospital left me desperate to find out what happened next, following that shocking transformation of Constantine, which will stick in our minds forever.
Oh, certainly.
The Doctor Dances kept me intrigued with its suspense and intensity, although at times it kind of lost its way from the main plot with Jack's charm, the Doctor's jealousy, and the Doctor dancing. But the ending was beautiful and happy, with a shocking revelation of Nancy being the mother, with Jack joining the TARDIS was a nice touch, I guess. Overall, this was a great two-parter which kept me interested at all times, with The Empty Child building up to a great plot brilliantly. The Doctor Dances kept me intrigued despite repeating itself quite a bit and getting sidetracked at times, but the enemy was underestimated yet scary, and I was on the edge of my seat, so I can't complain. 8 out of 10.
Oh yeah. Well, my conclusion is that this is a prime example of why I miss this sort of stuff in Moffat's writing. How he would turn the most mundane and normal things imaginable into the things that would haunt my nightmares as a kid. The gas mask child was a chilling and frightening obstacle for the Doctor and Rose to face. that I say obstacle because I felt wrong calling it an enemy or a monster.
And that's Moffat making you feel sorry for it once again.
I know, exactly. The introduction of Jack Harkness was charming and enjoyable, which balanced with the scary aspect nicely. The Doctor dances was all over the place in certain parts, and it went away from the main plot, what with the gag that the Doctor couldn't dance, which was a pointless title, really. The revelation of Nancy's character was touching and heartfelt, as it brought the two-parter to a lovely and natural close with the use of the nanogenes, which was a nice touch. The episode was a classic Moffat ep, which has came to be a very rare thing in recent years. 7 out of 10.
Yes, 8 from me, 7 from you, Jamie. It's weird how Love and Monsters I gave a harsher rating than you did, and yet you've given a harsh one in this, but that's the way it goes. We'd love to hear your views, obviously, in the comment section below. Give your views out of 10 of this episode if you've recently watched it, or is it an episode that sticks out in your mind? The Enemy certainly sticks out in ours.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely one of Stephen Moffat's scary monsters I think he's ever written. Weeping Angels probably overdoes them a little bit, mostly because they've reoccurred.
And you don't feel sorry for them.
I know, exactly. You downright hate these guys. Yes, so let's move on to answering comments.
So we are going to quickly answer 3 comments from our recent review, which was the Love and Monsters review. The first comment is from the 8-Bit Creeper.
A surprising amount of people actually disagreed with us on Love and Monsters, which was quite surprising. He says, I mostly disagree with this review. Yes, the Absorbaloff design was terrible and broke the episode to a degree. However, the episode shows a human perspective. Like Owen said, Elton has a journey of a lonely person looking for the Doctor to becoming someone who moved on from that. And Victor Kennedy broke that all down. It isn't the best episode, but it certainly isn't the worst. And for the first episode, where the Doctor barely shows up, they did a good job of tying him in. Well, I suppose, if you remember in the review, I did say that the premise did have potential.
Great potential.
But like I said, the character of the Absorbaloff, yes, given an 8-year-old, did actually do it, won a competition on Blue Peter, so they were just trying to make a kid's dream come true, you know, which I suppose is admirable. But it seemed to me like a children in need special or a comic relief special more than an actual episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
that's what we were just saying.
Yeah, the premise had so much potential. I mean, a guy just, trying his ass off to find the Doctor, that is just screaming out to be watched. And
seeing how the Doctor affects other people's lives.
Definitely, yeah. But I think that could have been. I mean, yeah, the Doctor wasn't in it much, but I think the Doctor not being in it much was that made the episode suffer. It could have been made up by an interesting cast, an interesting group of characters, and an interesting enemy. So if the Absorbaloff was a bit more menacing and not hilarious to look at, and if the group of Linda wasn't so bland and not as, well, I didn't find them interesting anyway, I think that could have made up for the actual absence of the Doctor. But I think it was just too bland for me, and I just lost my interest.
Our second comment is from Owen Salmons, who says, I have to say that I do enjoy this episode, unlike a lot of people. I enjoy watching it. It shows the human's view on events, and that some people follow the Doctor, hoping one day to meet him, like a lot of us fans. Really, I don't think there is anything wrong with the episode, but that's just my opinion. I respect your opinion and like listening to your views. Well, thank you for respecting our opinion, and we definitely do respect the fact that you do enjoy the episode.
Yeah, we do. I mean, there's nothing really to say what we didn't say before in the other comment. I think, once again, it just had loads of premise, and, people will have different views on episodes. That's why I make the videos, just to see what other people think. I'd rather people disagree with us than everyone agree.
Certainly.
But, yeah, there's nothing really much to say apart from, once again, great premise, and maybe it was just not interesting for me, but interesting for others. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for your view.
And our final comment is probably the comment that's put a bigger smile on our face than any other comment. I mean, this is amazing. Chris Says Nerd Stuff did say, you guys are awesome. You have inspired me to start making my own YouTube videos soon. Keep it up. I mean, what can we say about that? We've actually inspired someone.
I know. Honestly, it's great to inspire people. Honestly, we just wanted to get our Doctor Who views out there and just make a channel about a show that we love. And it's great to inspire people. Doctor Who inspired us. It's inspired me in more ways than one beyond this channel, and it's just great to see that we've inspired other people to review other Doctor Who episodes. Yeah,
it just makes us have that feeling that we're doing the right thing. Yeah. We're saying the right stuff, and we're making good progress. So thank you for that comment. It's probably one of the nicest comments ever, and just to know we're inspiring people is just amazing.
Oh yeah, honestly, it warms our hearts. Really, it does.
So guys, once again, thank you for watching another jam-packed review here on Whoenix Reviews. We hope you stay tuned, because the next review we will be doing is the first ever episode of the modern era of Doctor Who, probably the first ever episode we've ever seen as modern viewers. Next, we will be reviewing Rose.
Yes. Now, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and if you do, we will subscribe right back to your channel as well.
Yes, if you've not seen the video on the homepage already, we're spreading out to different social networking sites. All the links to them are on the banner on our homepage. Basically, like us on Facebook, follow us on Tumblr and Twitter, and add us on Google+. If you want to get directly to all of them, the link, as we said, is in the icons on the banner on our YouTube page. Just follow them, you should be on it.
Yes. Now, also, better than any of that, please comment in the section below on your views on this episode that we've reviewed today. We love your opinions, and we will answer them all in our next video.
Yes, give this episode a rating out of 10, or whatever you want to say about it. So yeah.
Yep, I'm James Wilson.
I'm Matthew Rowney.
This has been Whoenix Reviews.